Welcome to another WISCO. What if civilization started over again? Episode 2. Last episode, a few nations were born in the area around Poland. I'm not sure if this area is quite Germany yet. And Russia. And kind of Lithuania. In this episode, we're gonna see what happens next. These current countries are gonna keep expanding, more countries are gonna appear, and more of the world is gonna be discovered. So let's get started. So what we see happening first is some more exploration from the red team. They send out their navy, and they find this big island and that slightly smaller island. And they also find the areas surrounding it. They discover more of this coastline along here, the Baltic Sea, where Sweden is. And they go a bit more further inland. And then this light blue country goes further up the coast, finds this area. And then eventually they send a ship that goes down this way and then discovers this island that the red team has found. They find a lot of resources that help them on this island, and yeah, their economies are doing well. They are working well together, trading and stuff, and yeah, and then this nation continues expanding its knowledge of the map to these Danish islands, finding all of them, and then what they do is they start sending over some of their troops that start going over and colonizing. So they start taking some of this land on this island for themselves. And then eventually we see the red team also finding this area, and they work together on a deal on who takes what land. So the red team, they take this land, and then they also take this land, and then the blue team just takes this remaining land here. So yeah, that island that they have found has just been nicely shared between both of the countries. And what's going to happen is some cities are going to be made there. So the blue team are going to make a city there. The red team are going to make 2 cities on each side. So with these new foundings of these new islands, they are getting more resources from the islands, which is helping their economies. And the red team next say, okay, instead of finding areas around the Baltic Sea, which takes up a lot of resources because it takes them a while to sail there and find it, they're like, okay, let's go further down south, see what else we could find. So they send some people to discover the areas down below, and they just find areas. Wait, why is this not working? Hold on. Wait, what? Okay. Hold on. Okay, never mind. I guess they don't do that because my thing's not working. Anyway, I guess they just start expanding down here, finding a lot more fertile farmland, which starts up a new industry as they figure out farming, and they tell their friend over here, hey, you should also come down further south. You'll probably have a lot of farmland down here as well. So they also do it, and they're like, oh yeah, there is a lot of farmland around here. So they both start working together and farming, the red team sends out a message to the blue team to also start expanding their lands. So they do. And pretty much all of these countries just start working together on expanding their territories, getting new farming industries. Okay, now it's working. Yeah, new farming industries, and they also start discovering some of that undiscovered land, finding loads more rivers and potential areas along the rivers to set up some new cities. So pretty much, no like bad things are going on inside these countries. None of their citizens want to like break away or start a new country. Everyone's pretty happy. The economies are increasing. They're getting stronger. Everyone knows at some point there's bound to be a war. Something weird is going to happen. And yeah, there's going to be some people trying to steal some resources. Some vaults. They know it's bound to happen at some point. But at the moment, everything's looking okay. Loads of explorations are happening. They're finding loads of new areas to expand to. But the more areas they find, the more their people will be like, actually, you know what? I want to make a country over there. And they'll break away. But currently, everything is going okay. None of the citizens are currently trying to do any of that. So there's nothing to worry about. So the red team just continue expanding their land, building more and more farmlands until one of the farmers gets some houses built on his land when he was out on holiday in this country. And he is like, who built houses on my farmland? And he realizes the government started building loads of houses on his farmland, and he got angry. So he went to the local village and said, the government are building houses wherever they want. We don't really like that. So they decided to break away. So the government was not in charge of where houses were built in the area. And it soon spread. And it spread rapidly. And eventually they had independence. But the red team, they did not recognize this independence at all. So a lot of conflicts along this border was happening. This is the final border. No more spread was happening as the red team's army was stopping people from revolting outside of these areas to stop the spread of the green team. So yeah, next thing that happens is more cities are made. The red team finds way more cities than the blue team, and the populations are very quickly increasing in these areas. The blue team, already having a lot of farmland, is already pretty rich. They are already doing pretty well. And what they do next is they start finding a exploration team to discover more farmland. So what we are seeing is a little bit of some conflict between this green team and the red team, because they decided, because what the red team was doing on their farmland, that they really don't like them. So whether any of these two other blue teams will get involved because they're friendly with the red team, we don't know. Currently, it doesn't seem like they're bothered about getting involved at all. Although this blue team, they do border them. The red team isn't telling them, hey, help me out with this. They show their strength. They're going to try and sort out by themselves. So, yeah. Fortifications are made to stop the spread. And they're not really asking any help. They're like, we can do all this on our own. We don't need no help. So, yeah. But pretty much the green team continues to expand, and obviously the red team doesn't like them expanding into future lands where they can build their farms. They find multiple like rivers and things with the most fertile land, and their economy is going really well. They start becoming good trading partners with this blue country. They don't have naval access, so they can't really reach this country that well, so they don't really trade with them. But what we see is the red team finds out about this trade, and they don't like it. So they start going into this blue team's territory and putting fortifications along the border. And this blue team is like, why are you doing that? I didn't give you permission to cross into my land. It's like, well, we're allies, aren't we? It's like, yes, but you still need to ask for permission. So the blue team is kind of angry about this. They send a boat over to this blue team, kind of telling them what's happening. They don't agree with it either. It's like, they're like, we wouldn't allow you to randomly come into our territory without permission either. Even if the green team eventually borders us, we're not going to allow you to do that. So like the red team is like, well, I'm doing it anyway. And then both the teams and the green team is like, okay, this is not very good. So the green team talks to this blue team and is like, want to have help pushing them out because we just wanted our independence. And they're like, yeah, sure. So they start fighting, and the friendship between this blue team and the red team is gone. They are not happy anymore. So a mini war happens. No territory changes are happening, but there's a lot of fighting going along around this area. And then this green team is allowed to move their troops into the blue team to fortify this city, just in case the red team really starts invading a lot and land starts changing and they try to take this city. So yeah, we're seeing a lot of conflicts going on, but this team, they got involved a bit, but the red team isn't going to try and fight them. They're more focused on, well, they already didn't really like the green team, and they now don't like the blue team. Even though they're good trading partners, all trades have stopped. They've stopped trading. The relations with the two countries is, it's not very good anymore. One wrong move and it's caused all this. But this even though this blue team didn't like what the red team did, they're still friendly with them. They're still trading. I mean, they've got more borders. They don't have a lot of fronts to defend considering they own this. They don't really want to be fighting over there. Don't really want to be fighting naval battles around here. And they don't really want to be fighting on these islands. So they try and just not get involved too much. What they instead focus on is just expanding, finding more and more of the coast, and start works on building more cities for people to live in, because their population is now booming and they need a lot more areas to house people, because the red team put about 500,000 people now. This blue team maybe about 300,000. This green team about 200,000, and this blue team also maybe about 200,000. But yeah, a lot of the economy of the red team is going towards this war, which is not really getting anywhere because no territories are changing. It's just kind of like a war because they decided to move troops into their land, which they wasn't allowed to, and everyone got unhappy. And yeah, there's two people fighting against the red team, which is not good for the red team. And relations with the red team between this blue team is also not good anymore. They're not at war, but yeah, there is a lot. This blue team is putting off a lot of fortifications around the border, just in case the the red team tries to attack them as well. But if they try and attack them, they are gonna collapse very quickly. Their people are already not very happy with this war, and they really want it to stop. But it goes on for a few more years, and nothing really seems like anything's gonna change. And the green team and the blue team are doing so well that the green team, even while being at war, they decide to spend resources on expanding their territory, even while they're at war. So they're doing very well in this war, but they want to expand their territories to get even richer, to be able to upgrade their military to stop this war. They both want peace deal to come out of this, but it looks like it's still a few years away from happening. And nothing's really changing, but if a peace deal did happen, they might change lands a bit, but we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, for now, that's the end of this episode. If you guys did enjoy, like and subscribe. And yeah, if you want to do any suggestions on what should happen next, put them down in the comments. Say like, oh, the green team should start probably invading the red team, taking over their big cities. Or like, if you don't think that's a good idea, then maybe, I don't know, you say like, this blue team helps out the green team attacking this, but I don't know. It's gonna be a bit of a, I don't know how they're gonna resolve this war. It's kind of a stupid war, but it doesn't seem like it's that bad. Apart from the red team economy is gonna collapse if they don't change anything soon. They are lucky that they have a lot of cities to bring in a lot of income. They have done a lot of exploration, so they still have their trade boats and their fishing boats going around. But yeah, they're being punished a lot with this war. Their economy isn't really increasing. But anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.